We were a mile and a half or so from 300,000 people who were being forcibly starved to death by the Israelis. What is grotesque and absurd and obscene that I was not expecting was where we went to look at it. I was expecting we would go to a hillside or be a field that we could look across or something. We went to an observation platform, Judge. We went to an observation deck, just like you have overlooking Niagara Falls, including with the big binoculars where you put the coins in so you could see. And this is an observation platform that looks into Gaza, an observation platform that observes the genocide. And as we were there looking at Gaza, which is the experience itself, because you feel like a voyeur, you feel like a tourist. You find yourself disgusted with yourself that you're standing here watching this, but you're also so far removed. You're so separate from it that it's septic. It's sanitary. You don't see anything that's actually occurring there. You don't hear the screams. You don't hear the dying. You don't see the wrecked bodies. You can't even really make out the damaged buildings. But from this observation platform, it's very picturesque. And it's as if you're watching a movie, essentially. But what was really, and I'm still trying to come to terms with this, I'm trying to find the right words to describe this, was the fact that as we were there trying to understand how we were relating to this genocide occurring in front of us, an Israeli school field trip showed up. And these children, they're teenagers, they came from 2 hours away to come and watch the genocide. And the first rush of boys to the top of the hill to that observation platform, when they caught sight of Gaza, when they caught sight of the genocide, they pumped their fists and they gave the middle finger to it, and they were very, very excited. And so the idea that there weren't just Israeli citizens who were looking at this, gawking at it, but school children have been brought on a field trip from 2 hours away to come and watch the genocide, is just an aspect of what's occurring here that my visceral reaction to it is one that I'm really troubled by and having a hard time to process, because it's that aspect of genocide that I observed directly, where the population sees it as entertainment, where you have this complete dismissal of the Palestinians as human beings, but as some form of other, that observing their mass murder is something that's just not acceptable among the population, but is part of their school curriculum. So that is, sitting here a day after, as you can tell, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Totally repulsive. And it also speaks to the fact that this kind of hatred has to be groomed. It has to be put into you. I mean, no child is born thinking this is okay or murdering others is okay. It has to be taught.
Yeah, and it's disgusting and abhorrent and tragic, obviously, but it also really makes me think of the accusation that's levied towards Palestinians all the time to justify their genocide. You always hear Israelis say that these people, these Palestinians, they're taught to kill us as children. And
right.
We never see any evidence of that, but we do see a lot of examples of Israeli schools doing stuff like this.
Right. Everything Israel accused, just about everything Israel accuses Palestinians of or Hamas of, is just them projecting. The human shields, it's like Israel has legitimately used human shields. There are actually interviews with some who have survived where they say they were told to march in where the IDF thought their bombs were so that it would kill a Palestinian instead of them. So Israel does use human shields. They also, much of the Israeli military in Israel is within the civilian population. It's in Tel Aviv and elsewhere. So this whole human shields thing is, just one example, but just about everything Israel accuses Palestinians of, it's projection. It's accuse your enemy of the thing you're doing so that people can't define you first. The river to the sea thing. It's literally Netanyahu held up a map in front of the UN days before October 7th that had the West Bank and Gaza removed. Israel regularly says they're going to take over the whole area.
Yeah, and when they claim from the river to the sea, it is literally ethnic cleansing.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm really glad that Matthew Ho is doing that and is reporting from there. And once he's back or has more time, hopefully I can get him on this show as well.